All right, this is our next episode of True Wrestling Fan Discussions, continuing our pay-per-view retro series. This is going to be Super Brawl 2. Your host, Mike.
I'm Frank. Man, let's get into it. And this was actually on a leap day. This was February 29th, 1992, from the Mecca in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. A capacity crowd on hand here, 5,000.
Whoa.
I know. That's all right. That still got, well, it was more than some in your houses.
Yeah.
You had Tony Schiavone and Eric Bischoff kind of hosting the event.
Mm-hmm.
And you had Jim Ross at ringside with the newcomer to WCW, Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yeah. Came out on the motorcycle.
Yeah, and I
Big
love
pop.
how Z-Man was talking crap about that too later on in his match. When he goes, "Where'd you get the bike, Jesse? You ain't got the money." I'm like, "What the hell were they doing?"
No.
I caught that as he was coming down. I'm like, "Why? Whatever."
No.
It was good to see Jesse back and commentating. I love him and Ross going back and forth, and this one was great.
Yeah, Jesse was always good, man. It wasn't the same though.
I know, but it was when former WWE wrestlers were wrestling like Rude and Steamboat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was good to hear him say "Ravishing Rick Rude" again. It was good stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So our opening bout was for the light heavyweight championship, and it was a return match. It was Jushin Thunder Liger defending the title against Flying Brian Pillman. And man, this match was just awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
They pulled out all the stops in the first time in the inaugural match when Liger won it. I'm sorry, when Pillman won it, and then Liger won it back. And then now this is the third and deciding match. These guys had an amazing
Flying
chemistry together. And Liger actually missed the splash from the top rope Pillman was able to roll him up and get the victory to become the light heavyweight champion once again. And they actually hugged it out. And Ventura's like, "Well, you don't often see this." Well, that's because they don't normally do babyface versus babyface at this time. This was something new that was coming to us. It was 17 minutes in all, but it was a tremendous match between the two. The next match, kind of weird to me. It was Marcus Alexander Bagwell against a cloned $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. And I put this meme out years before when I first watched this. And I said, is anybody seeing the resemblance?
It's like the Wish version. It was the Wish version.
The Wish version where DiBiase's the Amazon version. It was the tailor-made man.
He cut a promo before that backstage
interview.
I guess he wanted to take him under his wing. That was the story, right?
Yeah, he wanted Bagwell to learn from him. Of all people, you're going to learn from this guy.
The Red Rooster. That killed him, man. That was a career killer. Once he was a Red Rooster, that was it. It was over. Because he had talent.
He did.
They were high on him, but after that.
And then there were too many gimmick changes here. You had the York Foundation.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Then he's the tailor-made man.
Tailor-made man, yeah.
Looking like Ted DiBiase, bootleg. I mean, it's just and what's funny is he's one half of the co-holder right now of the United States tag titles with Greg the Hammer Valentine, but he doesn't come out with the belt.
No.
So Marcus Bagwell actually rolled him up and got the victory in this one, which I thought was funny. Like, I don't need you to mentor me. I got this. And Bagwell had a ton of talent.
Yeah, he did. But he gets attacked after the match. The tailor-made man hits him with that forearm. The tailor-made forearm.
Typical. But DiBiase Jr. there loses the match. Bagwell gets the victory. The next match was I actually liked this one because, again, I was a fan of the guy. It was Ron Simmons, actually a fan of both of them. Ron Simmons versus Cactus Jack. And, man, and again, in this match, Cactus does the same thing. He goes over the rope and gets his head caught.
That's his move. That's one of his
The man's insane after having your ear ripped off. I don't understand why you would, keep doing this. But whatever. This is Mick Foley over his career. It always has been.
Bang, bang.
Which is why every time he's interviewed and they ask him about his health, he's like, "I'm in pain 24/7." Gee, I wonder why. But I even loved when Ron Simmons did the slam on the rampway, and you see Cactus's head really hit that thing, and it hit hard. The finish was a little weird. Cactus goes off the second turnbuckle on the inside. Simmons catches him for a power slam and gets the victory. And of course, the match is over. Cactus is jumping Ron Simmons, and here comes his psycho brother, smiling as he comes to the ring. Abdullah the Butcher. Now they don't know if
it's another sick man.
Exactly. Yeah. And they said, Cactus and him, it's well documented that they've been
Yeah.
fighting their friend. So
So
they
now
didn't
they're
know
friends.
who he
Yeah.
was
They're
coming out to.
frenemies. They're frenemies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They didn't know who he was coming out there to attack. Obviously, now we knew he came out and attacked Ron Simmons. So apparently, Cactus and
But
Abdullah are back together.
and then
And then,
out from the crowd.
exactly, JYD,
Yeah.
Junkyard Dog,
And
who they
all-
had shown previously.
Yeah.
When Ventura was like, "What is he dressed like a waiter?"
He had all white on, and he was in slow motion getting to that ring.
Yeah.
And
You
I'm
saw
like,
that?
save him already. He's just walking, slow motion. Eventually,
Pay-per-view's going to be over before you get
he's
there.
walking through the crowd. He comes in, starts fighting. He helps him, and then he takes his jacket off, his shirt off, and I mean that was cool that he came out and I was always a big fan of Junkyard Dog.
Oh yeah.
But he was, he's past his prime at this point.
They're trying to placate it like, oh, he's in the look at him, he's in the
Oh
best
my
shape
God!
of
Did
his
you hear
career.
Shivani? He's never looked better. He looked tremendous, and I'm like, he looked like shit, dude.
Exactly.
Like,
He's
he
got
looked
the
out of
belly
shape.
hanging out.
And he was winded. He was
Yeah.
gassed. Yeah.
I know you're trying to talk up
Like,
the legend that is JYD.
I'm trying to
but
sell
come
him,
on.
but I'm like, are you watching the same pay-per-view as us?
Exactly. Are you trying to kiss Bischoff's ass at this point? I mean, really?
Nah, they're just trying to put JYD over. I get it, but
I mean, JYD is one of the guys that you don't have to put him over. He already is, and the fans were giving him a standing ovation.
Yeah, but I think he just looked so bad that he was just trying to convince everybody that no, don't believe.
Yeah,
these are not the droids that you're looking for.
Yeah, we're not buying it. Now, the next match is one that I really despised. It was Heavy Metal Van Hammer and the Z-Man versus Vinny Vegas and Richard Morton for whatever reason. Now, let me ask you this, because I noticed this in it. Didn't Van Hammer kind of look like Mickey Rourke's
He did, the wrestler
character, Randy the Ram?
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
he did. Van Hammer looked like a star, man. If you look at him, he's in great shape.
He did, but
great shape.
at this pay-per-view, it just I swear I thought I was looking at Randy the Ram.
Yeah, I wonder if that's where he got the look from.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
But at this pay-per-view, really, they look like twins.
Yeah.
And this match was 100% garbage. I mean, Vinny Vegas is over there not looking like he can wrestle.
Yeah, he didn't. It wasn't.
They botched. Several times they botched moves in the match. They messed up. And Vegas has no business being in there with Richard Morton. And why?
I didn't get that pairing. I didn't get it.
I don't understand it. And I mean, Z-Man rolled up. There was a lot of rolls up in this one. He rolled up Morton
Tom Zank
in the corner for the win. And I mean, this match was just like, go get your snacks, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah,
wait for the next one.
It's just a filler.
And this was the second longest up at the point. This was a 12-minute match.
Oh Lord Jesus.
Yeah, Vinny Vegas just, excuse me, Kevin Nash, but you just couldn't wrestle at that point. I don't know what was going on.
He gets better.
He definitely gets better. We know that. But at this point, it's like, wow. And then he was like, oh, look at Jesse's like, oh, look at the cool suspenders. And, and then Ross is like, well, that's a weird attire. He goes, well, he's a, bouncer in Vegas. He's probably used to beating up guys. And, he just felt comfortable wearing that. But whatever.
Nash said that Vinny Vegas was inspired by a Steve Martin movie. I forget what.
I know which one you're talking about. My Blue Heaven.
There you go. I've never seen it.
I've seen bits and pieces of it, but trying to see Steve Martin talk like a gangster, it was kind of like humiliating and an insult to me.
So,
because since I'm Italian, I don't know, but yeah, it was Steve Martin, whatever. Our next match was actually a grudge match, and this was stating back from a feud back in October where Barry Windham got his hand crushed in the car door by Zbyszko, and it was actually Arn Anderson, I believe, that had done it. But this match was Barry Windham and Dustin Rhodes versus the television champion, Stunning Steve Austin, and Larry the Cruncher Zbyszko, with Medusa at ringside because Paulie was barred from ringside. Actually, he was barred from ringside for the U.S. title match, but they didn't understand why he wasn't out for the rest of the matches. And on the next match, we'll find out he gets barred again.
Yeah,
but it's not the last time we'll see him. And this match was pretty. It was pretty decent. I love watching Austin. I still can't get over the long hair thing. I'm sorry. To me, he's always Stone Cold Steve Austin. But the match wasn't bad. Your boy Zbyszko looked pretty good.
They pulled it off.
Yeah, I mean Windham with the flying clothesline on Zabisco, he got the victory. They redeemed themselves from the feud's now over. They got the victory over the Dangerous Alliance. So I mean it was pretty good. Dustin Rhodes actually is like undefeated now at this point, and at Superbrawl. Here's a quick note going forward for the last couple of matches. There's a lot of swaps in this one. Like for example, Super Brawl 1, you had Sting and Luger teaming together. Super Brawl 2, they're facing each other. Super Brawl 2, you have Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton teaming with each other. Super Brawl 1, you had them facing each other. I just thought that was a little weird.
Throughout this show, there's a lot of Missy Hyatt.
Oh my god, I was going to try to get past that. Thanks a lot.
It was just like I'm only going to bring the one up with the ninja.
That was funny.
That was kind of funny with Medusa.
No,
yeah.
No Steamboat. No Steamboat.
And then trying to get backstage interview him, and then Medusa comes out and tries to get to she tries to get to Steamboat, right?
Yeah, and then
this guy chases her, and then Missy Hyatt doesn't go interview. I was like, this is your chance to go interview Steamboat.
Because the first time she went in, she saw that the flame, he was meditating.
Right. And then then she has an opportunity because the ninja chases Medusa, and then she's just like, all right, well, I'm gonna get out of here. So,
I knew something was up when the ninja came out with Steamboat. We'll get to that later on. I knew something was up.
Yeah.
In any event, now the next match was for the WCW Tag Team titles. This was Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton defending the titles against the Steiners, who had the title stripped from them earlier on because of injury to Rick Steiner. So this was their way of getting it back. And this was a 20-minute match, and this was one of the good ones too.
Oh, it was a great match, yeah. The Steiner brothers match, and
for the most part, they're going to give you 110%, and you're going to enjoy it one way or another. It doesn't matter who they're facing.
Yeah. I mean, they're also facing great wrestlers too, but yeah,
exactly. And both guys know tag team wrestling, Arn Anderson and Bobby Eaton.
Yep.
And I mean, this match was amazing from beginning to finish. The ending I thought was funny, but I accepted it.
Rick Steiner gets blinded. He gets blinded by the
powder. Yeah, and then he suplex belly to bellies the referee.
Right.
Then of course now he's the legal man with Bobby Eaton, but it winds up being Scott Steiner and Arn Anderson.
Right. Yeah.
And then he does the Frankensteiner. The other ref comes out, pins them. They're declared the winners. Now here comes Nick Patrick and says, no.
Damn Nick
now here's where I think they got it wrong. He says, no, the Steiner brothers are disqualified for attacking the referee. Right. Well, why wasn't Arn Anderson disqualified? If you saw all this, why wasn't Arn Anderson disqualified for the powder?
For the powder, yeah.
No. Now apparently he was watching the match in the back. Oh yeah, of course he was.
He was happy.
He loved Arn Anderson. Yeah. He loved Arn Anderson even when he was in WWE. He thought he's a great talent, and he is. I'm not taking anything away from him, but I thought the ending was a little wacky. But I mean, this is a build-up going forward with all of them, and this is where Paulie Dangerously came out with them, and then he was ordered to vacate the ringside. He was barred from ringside, and he was just irate about it. So our next match, where he actually was barred from ringside, for the United States Championship, it was Ravishing Rick Rude versus Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, and you're not gonna get anything but 5-star matches when these two collide in WCW. It was unbelievable.
Jesse brought up the point though. He says, "How come Paulie's banned from ringside, but the Ninja's not?"
But the Ninja, yeah. That's where I knew something was up because I mean WCW's history of stuff like this, you know something's gonna go down, and it's funny because every time they put the camera on the Ninja, he just quickly, gets his head away and whatever. He's not even watching the match. He's got his hands folded. He's looking at the crowd. I mean, I thought that was funny. This match was just amazing. I love in the beginning, Rude's trying to do his promo, and the fans are booing him like, oh, God. Finally, he just had to do it over their voices. But what I didn't understand is why he wears the title over the robe. Usually it's the other way around. But, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just something I spotted.
No, I mean, two of the best ever.
Oh my God.
Two guys that WWE.
And they fought in WWE too.
Yeah, but they never gave him
not like this
a world heavyweight title over there.
Yeah, and not like their Iron Man match coming.
IC champions, but
they were mid card because of one person. Well, Rude was. Steamboat wasn't held back by Hogan, but Rude was. Yeah. For whatever that it is what it is. But these guys just became phenomenal athletes in WCW. Loved watching them. This match was great from start to finish. But of course, it's not going to be a clean finish because the Ninja, when Steamboat was going to the top rope, And even Ventura said, "Why is he going back to the top rope? He had it finished.
He had him beat."
The Ninja comes up and hit the phone.
Yep.
Once you see the phone, you know who it is.
Yeah.
And he hits him twice with it. Roode gets the pin. He's still the United States champion. The Ninja runs out. Yep. Now, of course, Ross is like, "That's Paul Heyman," and Ventura's like, "You can't have that proven." Missy Hyatt comes back. She goes, "Let me see if I can get a interview with Rick Rude." He opens the door to the Dangerous Alliance, and there's Heyman. I'm sorry, Paulie Dangerously in the Ninja outfit with the mask off, standing there celebrating with them, and then they rush her out. So now you know it was him. Wow. And I mean, I don't know. Missy Hyatt was always doo-doo to me. I don't know.
She was okay. They just had too much of her. I like Missy, but there was just too much of her sometimes.
I think I liked her when she became the Nasty Boys manager.
Yeah.
Then she was more a little badass, but she was she was like a Maria when Maria Kanellis was in WWE. Yeah. Kind of reminded me of her. Now on to the main event, which I'm going to get to something in a minute because I kind of noticed it. It was Lex Luger defending the WCW title against Sting.
And Luger had been. Well, go ahead.
Was it me? Is it just me, or did you catch this? Like Luger didn't even feel like he wanted to be in that ring.
Well, Luger's on his way out.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's probably what it was. But the storyline was that Luger hadn't wrestled in a while. He was just training. He was locked in. Jesse made a point. He's like, well, he might be a little rusty because he hasn't been in the ring for a little while.
Yeah, doing all the weightlifting and all that other stuff isn't going to compare to being in the ring. Right. Sting has constantly been going. Mm-hmm. And
now they're going at it.
And Harley Race is at ringside, managing Lex Luger. He had won the title back at Great American Bash the previous year. And and like you said, he's on his way out, which is kind of why he looks like he's like, probably, I don't really want to be in here.
Yeah.
This wasn't the normal Lex Luger we usually see there.
Because he's still under contract, but he ends up signing a contract with WWF as a commentator for the World Bodybuilding Federation. That was a loophole that they find. Well, he's not going to be a wrestler. We're going to employ him as like a commentator for the WWF and maybe like a special participant in the bodybuilding. We all know later on, I don't want to get sidetracked, Luger gets into that really bad accident, that bad motorcycle accident. So he's already on the way out. He didn't want to be there anymore. So that's probably why you get that impression.
Yeah, this isn't a normal Sting Lex Luger bout.
I thought it was okay. It wasn't bad.
I mean, yeah. The only thing I didn't like was there was no Stinger Splash. There was no Scorpion Deathlock. He wins them by a cross body from the top rope for the pin, which is unorthodox for Sting.
Well, what happened was outside the ring, Harley Race grabbed Sting and tries to put him in the pile driver, and Sting back body drops him.
He reverses it. Then he goes up to the top rope because Luger had hit his pile driver, but even Ventura said he didn't execute it the way he normally does. Right. Which is again where my statement. I felt like he didn't want to be like he was just going through the motions.
Probably, yeah, that makes sense.
So I mean, Sting beats him, wins the world title. And now Luger's going to be gone for a few years. Eventually going to become the next wannabe, Hulk Hogan, which is not going to work. But Sting is once again WCW champion, and like I said, Sting's on his way out. Harley Race will go from this. Will eventually manage Vader. When he gets there. So I mean, overall, this Superbrawl was better than the first, in my opinion. It was good, yeah. You had a lot of great wrestlers on this card. It's probably going to be the best one going forward for a while. As we get to 3, 4, and 5, I mean, this one's still going to stand out to me as one of the top ones. Yeah,
it was entertaining. I enjoyed it.
It wasn't bad. It was pretty good. Like I said, anytime you put Rude and Steamboat on that card, it's automatically going to be an A.
Definitely.
In my opinion.
Definitely. All right. Well, you guys let us know what you think. Please like, comment, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys soon.
Take care.